Sometimes people ask me, John, what's the difference between Teacher AI and just like using ChatGPT for learning? Because it was designed by language learners for language learners. I'm speaking from apartment 404, aka Mojo Dojo Casa House. Today is Tuesday. I just finished preparing everything here for my study session. So today I will walk you through how I've been using Teacher AI for the past month. As you guys can see, my coffee is already there, everything's set. I'd like to show you guys this too. So I love incense. When I feel this smell, for me this is language learning smell right here. Love this. So basically this place here in my living room is it's the place where I study, it's the place where I do the most important things in my day, and it's also where the magic happens. So number one tip, organize your study environment, and chances are if it's all organized and cozy, you will learn much better. Now let's go.
Say konnichiwa in the land of the rising sun, then bonjour in the city where lovers run. He'll charm the senoritas with hola como estas.
Now, I will not only demonstrate the way that I practice and the way that I use the tool, but also walk you through some of the most important features on the app so that you can get the most of it. And most importantly, never forget that learning is such a personal thing. And the way that I found out to be the best way for me might not be exactly the same for you. So make sure to use everything that makes sense here for you and combine it to the other stuff you already do, so that the final result of that is your ultimate language learning method that you use and that works for you. So don't worry so much about following 100% of the stuff that I will do now. Just focus on the 80-20, you know? Focus on the 20% that makes most sense for you. Apply it, combine it to your style, and do your thing. So let's go. First of all, let's take a look at the home screen here. First thing we do is we select the language that we want to practice, right? So as we can see here, there's dozens of languages available. My current target languages that I've been improving in the app, so Russian, German, Italian, also Spanish, and French. And this is the first cool thing about the app. It literally counts the words you know. So let's enter Russian here, for example. Since I already have active conversations with the teacher, it gives me the option to continue an ongoing conversation or to start a new chat. For Russian, we have some options of teachers. I will choose my pal, Artyom. Привет, Артем, как дела? Сегодня я буду говорить о приложении Teacher AI и как изучать иностранный язык с AI приложения.
Привет, здорово тебя слышать. Я рад, что ты хочешь поговорить про приложение Teacher AI и изучение языков. Мне нравится идея использовать технологию для практики разговоров и повторения слов.
Okay, so the first cool thing we can see here is the app transcribed what I said, and it not only gives me the option to listen again to my audio, but also there's this button here, Hear a Native Speaker. It gives me a version of my audio with the pronunciation of a native. So if I click here.
Привет, Артем, как дела? Сегодня я буду говорить о приложении Teacher AI.
Yeah, so this is cool. Also, we have this magic wand feature here. If we click it, whenever you make mistakes and you want to see some kind of explanation, and we have the detailed correction of our mistakes. Cool feature too. Now, let's say you're not so advanced in the language yet and you need like a little more help understanding what teacher's saying. So we have this translation button here in the bottom, and when we click it, it literally gives us the translation of all the sentences the teacher has just said. In case you don't want the translation of the whole sentence and you just want to know that one part, you can like click and drag.
Скажи коротко.
And it gives you just the translation of this small part you selected. So if I click and drag here, just the words.
Изучение языков.
And if you have like a digital notebook and you want to transcribe all the conversation into it, you have the copy button here so you can copy paste and yes, have your conversation saved like in a folder inside your Google Drive, for example. Let's practice a little more. Teacher AI, мой любимое приложение из изучения иностранных языков, потому что с этим приложением это возможно разговаривать, как использовать каждый день, заниматься разговорами каждый день. И для меня это самый главный, это самый важный речь, если хочет получить высокий уровень на несколько языков.
Ага, понятно. Ты хочешь сказать, что Teacher AI — это твое любимое приложение для изучения языков, потому что с ним можно практиковать разговоры каждый каждый день.
Okay, so as you can see, I made a bunch of mistakes in this last audio that I sent, and now I'll give you my personal way to actually see and kind of put a spotlight on the mistakes that I make and learn with them. Here I have my teacher's corrections for the mistakes that I've just made. And the thing that I do is I just come here, so right at the top, and then I go back here and I read it out loud, like a kind of a listen and repeat kind of exercise. But this time, knowing that this is the right way. And as I read, I will realize like, I got this wrong, I got that wrong. And at the same time, I'm doing it right now and seeing the differences. Понятно. Я буду сказать так по-русски. Teacher AI – мое любимое приложение для изучения иностранных языков, потому что с ним можно говорить каждый день и улучшить навыки разговорной речи. Звучит очень здорово.
Планируешь?
Что ты планируешь заниматься
Регулярно.
регулярно? Что ты планируешь заниматься регулярно?
Действительно.
Действительно. Это действительно главное для прогресса. So, this is more or less my process when I'm training with Teacher AI. So I think about a subject that I want to discuss. I talk about it. I make mistakes. I see my teacher's corrections. I read them out loud. And then I save these mistakes that I made somewhere like Google Drive so that I can review them tomorrow. Yeah, but for now, let's play a little with the other languages and have some fun. Okay, so let's go to German now. There's so many cool things here in the app. So look at this. We have this leaderboard in the app, right? So we have the leaderboard for like the all-time leader, the month leader, and the week leader. So look, this week I'm in 7th place in German. So I have practiced almost 500 words. I might jump to 5th place now, look. So I just need like 30 more words to jump to 5th place. I think I will jump to 5th place right now. And then we have the all-time leaders, look. So there's this guy here with 10,000 words. I mean, look. 121st place. And we have this ranking for all languages. Also, if we take a look at this menu here on the left, so we have not only the homepage here, we have the leaderboard, we have the history. What is this? This is basically all conversations you started in this language. Let's say you want to have different conversations about different topics, for example. You want to have a conversation about cars, another conversation about cooking, another about traveling, and you don't really want to mix them up for some reason. It's possible to do it. All you have to do is start new chats every time you want to begin a completely different topic, and it'll be saved here and you can revisit them specifically. So this is pretty cool. Also, we have the flashcards feature, which is a little bit like Anki or Quizlet, Memrise, and these spaced repetition apps. Basically, let's take a look here. Start learning.
Berufstätig.
Employed. Okay, I didn't remember that.
Berufstätig.
Berufstätig.
Der Spaß.
Der Spaß is the fun. I don't know. Okay.
Gezieltes.
Gezieltes is something directed, something like a specific, with goal-oriented. Directioned, yeah. So for some people, flashcards are something that helps them memorizing new words. Me personally, I don't like flashcards so much, but if you enjoy it, yeah, you can do it here. Also, we have some cool settings here, and this is the cool part. So here we can customize our teachers, right? So you can select another mother language. If your mother language is, let's say, Brazilian Portuguese, for example, like me, and you don't speak English, let's say, and you're learning German, you can do that. So now when you're talking to the teacher and you click on the translations will show in Brazilian Portuguese and not in English anymore, for example. And also we can choose how much of our native language the teacher is going to use during the conversation. So in case you're not very advanced and you want the teacher to mix it up a little, you can select yes here. Or if you want the teacher to speak only your target language, you can click on no, and then you save it here, as well as the speaking pace. For instance here, my current speaking pace here is set to 0.90, so it's basically 10% slower than normal speaking pace, like I'm talking right now. In case this is too fast for me, I can make it even slower, or in case it's too slow, I can make it a little faster. So make sure you select the ideal speaking pace for you. And now let's go back to German. Now let's talk to my friend David Allen Martin II. Hallo David, wo bist du heute?
Ich bin heute zu Hause und trinke einen Kaffee. Das ist mein Lieblingsstart in den Tag. Ich höre gern alte Songs von den Beatles oder einen guten Film im Abendprogramm, das entspannt mich sehr. Und bei dir, wie läuft dein Tag bis jetzt?
Bis jetzt, mein Tag läuft gut. Jetzt nehme ich ein Video für YouTube auf. Die heutiges Video geht um, wie lernt man eine Fremdsprache mit artificielles Intelligenz, mit, wie sagt man, AI-Apps, mit AI.
Du meinst, die heutige Video geht darum, wie man eine Fremdsprache mit künstlicher Intelligenz lernt.
Once again, I made a bunch of mistakes and now I will read them out loud, paying attention to the parts that I got wrong and seeing the actual way that I was supposed to speak them. Die heutige Video geht darum, wie man eine Fremdsprache mit künstlicher Intelligenz lernt. Okay. Das klingt spannend und nützlich für viele Leute. Jetzt wiederhole ich meine Fehler. Jedes Mal, ob ich einen Fehler mache, wiederhole ich diese Fehler, nachdem mein Lehrer erzählt mir ein Beispiel mit dem richtigen way.
Jedes Mal, wenn ich einen Fehler mache, wiederhole ich denselben Fehler.
So you see here, in this sentence, I was not sure how to say something in German. And then I did some code switching. I said like ein Beispiel mit das Richtige, and then I was not sure if I should say way or something else, but I just said way anyways. And again, it doesn't have to be English, but when we complete the sentence with our language, we call this code switching. It's when we use our language as support to express ourselves in the target language. The teacher not only understands that, but they also help us to say properly in the target language. So let's take a look. Jedes Mal. Okay, so I was not sure about this. Wenn ich einen Fehler mache, wiederhole ich denselben Fehler auch nachdem mein Lehrer mir das Richtige gezeigt hat. Okay, so das Richtige. Vamos a hablar un poco de español ahorita. Voy a charlar con Adrián, Alejandro, Benny, Connor, Lucía, Oli, Pedro, Xiaoma. Ok, vamos a hablar con Pedro. Hola Pedro, ¿qué tal? Hoy estoy haciendo algo diferente aquí en mi canal. Estoy hablando específicamente sobre cómo la gente aprende idiomas, pero con herramientas de IA, de inteligencia artificial, específicamente con Teacher AI, que es la herramienta que estoy usando ahorita y que de hecho uso casi todos los días, 5 veces por semana, para practicar y a mejorar mis 5 idiomas. ¿Cómo vas a decir target languages en español?
En español puedes decir idiomas objetivo o idiomas meta.
Ok, idiomas objetivo o idiomas meta. Suena un poco raro para mí decir eso, pero todo bien. Aunque sea un poco difícil para mí hablar prácticamente todos los días, cuando utilizo Teacher AI, hay días en que logro practicar por horas, hay días en que tengo apenas como 30 minutos para 2 o 3 lenguas. Vale, y la verdad es que casi siempre hay días más ocupados en la semana y casi siempre hay días más tranquilos. Lo que intento hacer, lo que hasta ahora he logrado hacer, es que no soy como too demanding conmigo mismo, pero pienso, si hoy fue un día más ocupado, mañana intentaré tener un estudio más longo, más completo. Okay, so there's more cool features we can use here. So sometimes maybe you're not sure how to answer your teacher's question. Like here, he asked me like, how do you feel about recording right now? Do you feel calm or nervous? And if you're not sure how to answer to that, you can click on this button here. Look, don't know what to say? Click for suggestions. So this little, light bulb feature here literally gives you a couple of possible answers for that question so that you can practice. So again, it's still not the, learn from scratch app if you're like a day one learner. But even if you're a really basic speaker, even if you're at a really basic level and you use all the available features to make the most of it, it's possible, you see? So if I click here, so it literally gave me 2 options of possible answers if I have no idea what to say. With translations in case I don't know what it means. And also, let's say that for some reason I'm somewhere and I cannot use my microphone at the moment. We can also type it here. Ideally, we should use our microphones. We also have this other cool feature here. It's called the hands-free mode. So imagine that you're cooking, right? Or, doing your makeup, getting dressed for a meeting, working out, if you're maybe like jogging on the streets. Imagine you're doing anything and for some reason you cannot use your hands. You just have like your phone in your pocket, so you have your earbuds in and for some reason you cannot use your hands. So if you click on this thing here, it's like you're on a call with your teacher and you can really talk to the teacher in your target language like in real time and it replies real quick as a real person talking to you, which is pretty cool. Hola Pedro, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, estoy muy bien, gracias. Me alegra mucho que estés aquí. ¿Cómo te va el día?
El día me va tranquilo hasta ahora. Estoy terminando de grabar un video para mi canal de YouTube y después me voy a entrenar Muay Thai y Jiu-Jitsu.
¡Qué bien! Terminar un vídeo y luego entrenar Muay Thai y Jiu-Jitsu, eso suena a un día muy productivo y lleno de energía. Me encanta que tengas esas pasiones.
And then I just click on the red button here, just like a phone call, and I just hung up the phone, right? There's this really cool feature here, is the streak feature, and it shows like how many days straight I've been using the app. So yeah, as you can see here, I have only 9 days because yeah, even though I use the app this weekend, normally I don't use it on weekends. So yeah, I guess I will never have like a 100-day streak. But if I'm talking about things that worked for me in the past, something that I did like back in 2019, 2020, is I did small 90-day challenges with myself. Like I challenged myself to speak the language and it worked out really great for me in the past. So I guess if I were to learn a new language from scratch today, and I had this app at the time, this didn't exist, but I guess something I would do to challenge myself a little would be to say like I'll have a 90-day streak or a 100-day streak, just as a means, for extra motivation. So the grammar analysis, we can do this for anything our teacher says, any corrections. So we have grammar tips, vocabulary tips, collocations. Is a really cool feature if you ask me. If we click here on the word count on the top, and we click here, we go straight to the vocabulary part of the app. So in here we basically have all the words we know in the language separate into different categories, right? So we have the I speak words and the I understand words. Basically the words you not only heard but you also used are the ones on I speak, and here in I understand is the words that you only heard but you didn't use yet. And of course we can practice them with flashcards. Sometimes people ask me, John, what's the difference between Teacher AI and just like using ChatGPT for learning? And well, I guess at this point is needless to say that this app here is like the most complete tool today to learn languages because of all the features inside of it, and also because it was designed by language learners for language learners with all the things that back in the day in the prehistoric ages before AI, we didn't have any of this, and today we have, this gift. All we have this like amazing, hammer of the gods for learning languages. It's called AI, and this one's called Teacher AI. And just looking at it, I just see all this and I think, man, I wish I had this back in the day when I was learning languages from scratch. Because yeah, this makes our lives so much easier. Like we don't have the same effort of, going on Google and YouTube and collecting all this data and piling up all these things we have to study. It's all here, it's all in the same place. We just have to basically say hello and then it does all the rest. And I guess the coolest thing about AI for learning languages is, even though we learn languages to talk to real people, if we're being honest, in real life conversations, we don't stop people mid-conversation to say, hey, can you give me a grammar explanation about this? Or even asking people to correct us mid-sentence in a conversation, because these are some of the, uncomfortable situations in real life that AI allows us, enables us to do without any of the real life embarrassment. So Teacher AI is not gonna think we're dumb. Teacher AI is not gonna laugh at our mistakes. And most importantly, Teacher AI will show us where we're getting things wrong and give us alternatives and show us corrections and let us take our time to learn these things and look back on our mistakes and learn with them on our pace, in our way, every day, any time of day. In other other words, Teacher AI is not about studying more, but rather activating the language you already know through speaking. This way, you do not need to sound perfect. You do not need to prepare anything beforehand because it gives you a bunch of conversation starters. You do not need to know every word you want to say. Therefore, the fastest way to become fluent is not through studying more, it's to start speaking more, even if imperfectly. So literally, if you're a basic learner, you select like your current level here, it'll give you a bunch of suggested themes, and I don't have to prepare literally anything. Let's say we talk about my childhood. There's a bunch of suggested themes here already. So, por ejemplo,
¿cuál era tu dibujo animado favorito cuando eras pequeño o pequeña?
Cuando era pequeño, mi dibujo animado favorito era Dragon Ball. De hecho, tengo algo muy especial para mí aquí. Eso no sé cómo decir. ¿Cómo se dice en español Dragon Ball? Tengo una Dragon Ball en mi apartamento.
Ah, querías decir que tienes una Dragon Ball en tu apartamento.
So again, people become fluent by repeatedly activating the vocabulary in the language they already know and gradually learning new vocabulary. The daily speaking practice creates automaticity. The everyday small conversation practice beats the occasional once in a week lesson for 3 hours, for sure. Repetition builds speed and confidence, and you absolutely do not need perfect grammar to communicate. So vocabulary activation, consistency, and word count. These things are key for you to not only progress, but also track your progress. That being said, some of the mistakes people usually make, they only practice once a week, or when they're using a powerful tool like this, they keep just reading rather than speaking. And speaking is the most important thing. Not only speaking, but also making mistakes and being corrected. Because when it comes to learning a language, the faster you make mistakes, the faster you learn. Differently from real-world conversations, the AI is not going to laugh at you. It's not going to say you're not ready. It's not going to criticize you. On the contrary, it's going to help you correct your mistakes and understand your mistakes. So if you absolutely suck on day one, that's normal. Everybody sucks on day one. It's day one, that's why it's called day one. Everybody sucks. If you're only able to maintain conversations for like 10-15 minutes in the beginning, it's perfectly normal. And yeah, with time, you'll be able to have longer conversations in a way that's not, exhausting for you. That's also normal. But the number one thing is building the daily habit of speaking every day. So like I said, when I was a beginner in these languages, I spoke them every day. Now I'm only doing them from Mondays to Fridays, but yeah, if I was a day one speaker, I would definitely do it every day as I did. So I guess my final message to you is just trust the process, or as we say in Brazil, confia, trust. The first few days may feel a little awkward, but after consistent daily practice, you'll feel something start to click. You'll start to hesitate a little less. You'll stop translating as much as you did in the beginning. You'll finally start to understand some of the jokes in your series, the songs you like, and start expressing yourself more naturally. And that's where the magic happens. That's when learning a language becomes a fascinating, fun, magical experience. And that's why Teacher AI is not just a studying tool. It's a way for you to finally start living and existing in your target language every day. Let me know what you think about all this here in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and help me reach 100 subscribers. And I'll see you on the other side for the next video.
They'll say konnichiwa in the land of the rising sun. Then bonjour in the city where lovers run. He'll charm the senoritas with hola, como estas?